Welcome to Synchronous Learning, bringing live learning to life. During this session, we will be exploring more things about digital collaboration. We'll talk about the pitfalls, which could include frustration with the tech and awkwardness of being on the technology, and the potential, which include new connections, shared resources, space for more voices, and more conversations. The first thing we will do is define synchronous learning, the forms, the purpose, and the challenges. When you are in synchronous teaching, you are looking at the why do you need to do it, and what's the need. Number two is what should it do? What should synchronous learning and teaching look like? And how will we plan to get it done? Synchronous learning opportunities, the why part, includes the 5 C's of synchronous learning. These are community, which is missing in the lives of our students when they're not together with their classmates or their teachers live. Synchronous is essential to help maintain that sense of community. Culture, we lose a lot of culture when we move to a virtual learning environment. The values connecting us, rules, procedures that gave us culture are missing. A synchronous space will allow this to happen again. Connection. Connection during synchronous learning can be whole group, small group, or one-on-one to reconnect and show our students we are paying attention to their work. We didn't start teaching in our classrooms until we built connections. It is essential in student learning. The synchronous learning allows that connections will be reestablished. Coaching. Coaching in synchronous learning allows us to give our students feedback in a timely and personal manner. Data can be used in our synchronous work to help provide that feedback. And finally, collaboration. Collaboration is often difficult to do asynchronously when you're not facilitate if you're just sending out videos. Synchronous whole group and small group activities are possible, and they give us the opportunity to have our students collaborate with one another. The how for synchronous learning, there are multiple forms that provide more equitable and personalized practices. You can do video sessions, which can be scheduled whole group, small group, or one-on-one, or you can also do on-demand small group or one-on-one sessions during office hours. Phone sessions, a live presence in a tech tool. Examples could include chat, AMA, question and answer, some Nearpod activities, lots of the tech tools you'll be learning more about this week. Blended learning, some face-to-face and some remote, and collaboration. So we're going to start by exploring some ways to make live video sessions more engaging and impactful. When your live video sessions are not engaging or impactful, your students will be doing some of the same things they may be doing in class, only you're not there to see them and to make them stop. For example, playing with stuff, sleeping, texting their friends, or daydreaming. Next, we will explore making synchronous video sessions more engaging and impactful. We will continue by defining more about what those synchronous learning sessions could look like. If this was actually a live session, Menti is a tool that you could use to collect on-demand data from your students. It allows every student to participate in a conversation, even though you are all in different locations. So let's define what synchronous learning looks like. There are specific norms for this space. Just like you set up norms for your classroom and rules and expectations, you'll do this with your synchronous learning lessons as well. You'll be working to maintain and use different tools for maximum engagement. So teaching a synchronous learning session, you're going to be expecting them to participate and collaborate with one another. Students will need to know the objectives for the lesson, what challenges they may come up against, and key concepts or strategies that you're trying to teach. We want to make sure that we are planning lessons that give all of our learners a voice, where we're not doing all the talking, and where the learners, and making sure that the learners can't fake being fully present in the experience. Keys to virtual adjustments are norming intentionally, mic off to others.
The next phase is called the explore phase. During this phase, learners are given the opportunity to practice what they have learned. This is also a time for them to collaborate with others in small and whole group settings. In a whole group setting, tools supporting track of progress and tools supporting collaboration and discussion are used. And in the small group setting, strategies support divide and conquer, tools used to support track of progress, and tools supporting collaboration and discussion. Go Formative is just an example of an EdTech tool that can be used in the explore phase. It allows the instructor to upload an assignment and see student responses in real time, so they can quickly adjust instruction based on student needs. There are numerous EdTech tools that you're going to learn all about this week and moving forward that allow students to practice and collaborate with each other. If you would like to learn to create, assign, and monitor Go Formative activities at your own pace, here are a couple of links you can access. The explore phase in a small group setting. This means having learners collaborate in small groups. This can be transformative. More than ever, we should prioritize this right now. While it is more challenging to set up, it is really quite possible. So far during our session today, we have introduced, define, and explore phases of the framework. Please take a moment to read through the two boxes on the slide. All right, let's move on to the third phase. This phase is called the build phase. It occurs at the end of the synchronous session. The build phase is more impactful if students start building a tangible product during the call, even if they can't finish it live. If possible, students sharing back with the group about their product adds another dimension of engagement and accountability. Because you are not there to help physically, focus on easy solutions that will require minimal troubleshooting by you or a parent in this phase. A few examples of EdTech tools that could be used in the build phase include Google Docs or slides and a jigsaw, digital exit ticket with Socrative, Padlet digital gallery walk, a Flipgrid presentation plus feedback to a peer, or how about a Kahoot or a Quizzes? There are links in the slideshow so you can take a look at each of these. And of course, additional resources in the COVID playbook can be found as well for each. Now we're going to discuss how to build a lesson plan that includes the 3 phases. Number 1, define, 2, explore, and 3, build. One thing we wanted to share were just some additional formats for synchronous learning. In the top right-hand corner, there is a live link to this particular table, so you can access the links that are embedded. On the far left, you have targeted live small group tutoring sessions. This is one additional form of synchronous learning. Another might include something like office hours and live presence in a tool. And third, one-to-one coaching, check-in meetings. All right, so why should we think outside the box with different forms of synchronous touch points? Whether face-to-face, remote, or in a blended learning environment. How does this look different from what we did in the spring? Take a moment to share out with a PD pal in the room you are in currently. Stop your recording at this time so you can do this.
As Holly said, the final during the build phase.
Christy, please stop and redo that slide. Your internet was kind of sketchy there. So okay. Start that slide again.
That's fine. The final phase, as Holly said, is the build plan of action. Here is an example of a so that you can, it will take you directly to the virtual lesson plan builder. In the lesson plan builder, there are examples of tech tools that you can use in the define, explore and practice, and build and assess portions of the plan. The left column provides components for each of the phase. The middle column is where you would put your outline for your lesson. And the right-hand column, as I said, provide examples for strategies. When you click on the top, you'll see this plan, and there is space in each category for you to add additional ed tech tools that would be appropriate for these sections. Also at the top, underneath templates, there is a link for a template that's a Google Slide lesson where you can add and build your lesson plan in there as well. After listening to this presentation, what concrete ideas do you want to try to implement to offer more synchronous options to your students? What support do you need to be able to do it? And how do you plan to make your live video sessions more engaging and impactful? Please remember that you can do synchronous learning even if your students are in the classroom. It's a great way for you to practice with them how to use the live tools that are more engaging for lessons. And it's a good way for us to all move our students into more of a 21st century learning environment. Please take a moment to share your responses to those 3 questions with your PD pal. You can pause the recording at this time. Finally, what are the next steps? Creating synchronous moments in your classroom, whether face-to-face or remote, won't happen all at once. Try small things like exploring some of the tutorial videos offered in the COVID playbook, or practice using one or two ed tech tools. There's a comprehensive reference that's linked here that will help show you what some of those are.